Stampers, it's Judy Klock at Stampin with Crafty Klock, and today we're going to work on making a never-ending card. And a never-ending card is simply a card that keeps folding over on itself. It just keeps going. So we're going to start on one from scratch, and we're going to be working with the new Ornate Garden Suite. And to make this card, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock cut down to 6 by 6. You're going to need 2 pieces of Designer Series paper cut to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You're going to need 6 pieces of white cardstock cut to 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You will need 8 pieces of Designer Series paper cut to 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. And I would caution you that if your Designer Series paper seems to have a definite pattern, whether it be vertical or horizontal, you will need 4 that will be placed vertically and 4 that will be placed horizontally. So just pay attention to your Designer Series paper when you're going to cut that. And then you need 8 little Designer Series papers cut to 1 1/4 inch squares. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to score our 6-inch cardstock. Sorry about that. And we're going to score it at 1 1/2 and again at 4 1/2. All right, we're just going to lay that aside for now. So again, score both pieces at 1 1/2 and at 4 1/2. All right, so now we have those scored. Now we're going to take our paper trimmer, and with the score line, make sure you can see this, at the top of the trimmer, see it's at the top, we're going to cut these into 2 3-inch by 6-inch strips. We're just going to cut right through those score lines, okay? So you have a score line on the top and a score line on the bottom. And we're going to do the same for the other 6 by 6 inch piece of paper, just cutting it right there through the half, through those score lines. So when you're done, you should have a total of 4 3 by 6 inch pieces of paper. Now we're going to take 2 pieces and we're going to lay them so that the score lines are vertical on our piece of paper. So we're taking these 2 pieces and we're laying these pieces horizontally on our work surface, and that means the score lines are going to top and bottom. Then we're going to take some tear tape and we're going to put our tear and tape 3 strips starting at the top. We're going to go from the score line out on each piece on the top and bottom of each piece. So 3 strips up there, and coming down here to the second piece, 3 strips down there. And we're going to do this for the left side, for the right side, and for the left side. Okay. I'm just going to do the same thing down here. 3 strips on this piece. I hope you can see. I know my hands are kind of in the way, but I'm just laying down my tear and tape. Okay, I was going to do it a little bit different because it's easier for me. And you want to put the tear and tape kind of close together. Okay, and I'm going back up here to this other piece. It's okay, don't worry about it because we're not going to see this. Okay, so now we have all of our tear and tape on there. We're going to realign those strips. Make sure that they butt up right against each other, and make sure that those score lines are even. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take off on one side. We're going to take off on the left side the cover to that tear and tape on all 3 strips, top and bottom. Okay, just get that out of the way, and you'll have to realign your paper again before you put the top on, because obviously as I'm taking this off, it's getting a little bit discombobulated. That's okay. Before we put the top on, we'll have a chance to line it up again. So don't worry if it gets a little messed up during this part of the card making process. Okay, so now I'm just going to line that up again. I'm going to make sure that they're butting up against each other. I see those score lines are pretty well matched. Now I'm going to take one of my 3" by 6" strips, and I'm going to use it in a vertical placement and place it over that tear and tape, lining up the edges, top and bottom, side to side. And then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to just kind of press it into place. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. And I think I kind of messed up just a little bit. Just a little bit. See if I can see that. The problem is the tear and tape holds so well. Okay, that should be good. All right, now I'm going to take off the strips over here. Maybe. Sometimes it gets a little stuck, but that's okay. We'll get it all off. We're in no rush. We got nowhere to go. We're home on quarantine. I just wanted to pop on here and make this quick little video for you so that you can hopefully, while you're at home, if you're not going out, if you're teleworking, you can take a break during the day and have some fun and make this real. This card is such a fun card to make. I really like it. Okay. Now I'm just going to go do the same thing. I'm going to make sure these butt up against here, top and bottom, side to side, making sure that I get everything lined up. Okay. So now we've got, I call this the front side, because this is what you're going to see when you first do it. Now we're going to fold it over. We're going to take our bone folder and we're going to smooth that down, smooth out those folds. And this is what I call our second fold, because we had our first one that was sort of the base card. Now I'm folding, I folded it. I'm going to fold it again. This is our third side. And again, I'm going to take my bone and just kind of smooth those creases. Want them to get nice and flat. Then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to fold it one more time. We're looking pretty good. And we're back to the beginning. And you can kind of tell that you're back to the beginning because you have the two vertical pieces facing you. So now it's time to go ahead and decorate our cards. I'm going to take a couple of strips of my Designer Series paper. And for this one, I'm going to use these pretty tulips. And I'm just going to go ahead, and these are going to go top and bottom in these little, I guess, 2 3/4 by 1 1/4 inch spaces. It's actually 3 inches by 1 1/2 inches, but the Designer Series paper is 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. It's just 1/4 inch shorter all around. So you have some of that really pretty mint macron peeking through on all sides. Okay, now I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm going to put 2 up top. I hope you all can see this. And I'm going to post these directions. Actually, they're already posted on my Facebook page, in my Stampin' with Crafty Klock, in the Crafty Stampers VIP group. These directions are actually already there with all the measurements. Okay, so now we have that. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to want to decorate my front. So I'm going to take 2 of these white pieces, and on one, I'm going to do from the Ornate Thanks. I'm just going to do thanks on that, and I'm going to stamp it in the mint macron. Okay, I've already got it out, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to go stamp thanks. Looks a little crooked. Let's hope I did it straight. Nope, I did it crooked. So I am going to flip my thing over. I'm going to take this stuff off for a minute. I'm going to line it up on my paper here. Okay, now I think I'm ready. All right. Okay, that looks straight. So that was pretty good. Now, putting aside my mint macron, I'm going to take my terracotta tile. These are some of the coordinating colors with that Designer Series paper, which is so pretty. And I'm going to use this really pretty, like, decorative corner scroll thing. I don't know what you would call it, but I'm just going to go here. I'm going to put one over here. And then I'm going to put on the opposite one, I'm going to put one over here. Okay, and then I'm going to take I think I'm going to take this single flower and I am going to stamp this in Tuxedo Black. Let me move the terracotta tile out of the way. And you'll notice that these are the red rubber cling stamps, so that's why I'm not using my my Stampin' Pierce mat, because I really don't need to. Okay, let's color in that flower just for a minute. I'm going to take some Old Olive and I'm going to go ahead and color in the leaf. Okay, we're going to give just a little bit of color to our flower. Okay. All right, we got that. Now I'm going to use, I think, I'm going to use Mango Melody for the center of the flower. And I love the Stampin' blends. They make everything really easy to color. Okay. And then, I think I kind of like the Rococo Rose for this. I'm just going to go ahead and plug in some Rococo Rose. And I'm just going to color that flower just give it a little bit. It's actually a little bit pinker than I would have liked, but that's all right. It'll still work. Because there really is no pink in the designer series paper. It's mostly yellows and greens. So I think we'll be okay. And of course the terracotta tile, but I don't believe we have a terracotta tile Stampin' blend, because if we did, I would probably have it. And I don't see it in my stash. So I'm thinking, oh, you know what? That is Rococo Rose. Okay, I did take the right one. Okay, now I'm ready to go and put these on to the front of my card. Again, I'm just going to adhere it on with some snail, and you can use Tombow, you can use tear and tape, whatever adhesive you prefer to work with, it's all fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. And then I'm going to put this one over here. And the nice thing is nobody's going to see our little mistake on the back with our thanks that was crooked, because we redid it. All right, we got that there. Now I'm going to flip it over. Okay, now I'm not going to worry about this centerpiece yet, and you'll see why when we go and do the next one. So I'm going to take these pretty little ones and I'm going to put these in the four corners, top and bottom, left and right. There we go. Oh, that's a little crooked. My goodness, I'm just having a problem with putting things on straight this evening, but that's okay. Hopefully we can fix it all. Nothing is permanent, at least in card making, unless you use tear and tape. Then it's pretty much done. Okay. That's good, because that means you know that you're going to get a really good hold with tear and tape. All right, so we've got this. All right, now we had thanks on the front, and then we had, I'm sorry, that's the wrong set. We have all these things. So I'm just going to stamp in there, thanks, and I'm going to say for everything. If I can find it. I can find it. I hope. Because here it is, for everything. All right, so I'm going to put thanks for everything. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to bring back my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm going to go thanks for everything. I'm going to stamp it in the Mint Macron. Okay. Thanks for everything. Okay, we have that. Now I'm going to go back to my ornate flowers, and I think I'm going to stamp one of these little tiny ones on there. I'll just kind of put this there. Okay, and we're going to, again, color the leaves in our Old Olive. I'm trying to keep everything kind of in the same color family. All right. We have that. We're going to do that little tiny dot in our Mango Melody, the little center of the flower. And I think I might use, I really want more of a subtle pink. Maybe I'll use the petal pink. Let's see. Let's see how this is. It's light, so if I don't like it, I can always go over it. Oh yeah, I don't think well, we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I like that. I can always darken it up with a different color. But that might be okay. Okay. Maybe I'll just take the Rococo Rose and I'll just give it a little bit of definition in there. Maybe I'll just highlight some of those lines. Okay. All right, so we've got that. And then we have this really pretty, it's kind of like a filigree stamp. So I kind of like that. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to stamp that, I think, in our terracotta tile on the bottom, just to kind of give that bottom piece a little bit of personality. Okay, and now we're ready to put these two in to our card. So I'm going to put this one in the top. Oh boy. Be careful when you're doing this that you don't do what I did and get your adhesive on your work surface and then you go to put another thing on there and it kind of rips it a little. So we don't want to do that, but for this demo, we're going to leave it. Okay. So we've got that. Now I'm going to flip it open. Now I'm going to take my big designer series paper and that's going to go on this middle section. Okay, I really like this color. I love these colors. I think they're so pretty. And I love that all of our designer series paper is two-sided. And this side has the gold foil, and I'm kind of sad to put it down, but I didn't think that really went with my mint macron, but I thought this really did. So I wanted to use this side. Alas, and this is the other side of that yellow daisy, those daisies we put on the front. This is the back side. And I'm just going to put these 4 pieces up here. I just thought that would be a nice contrast because the other one is kind of a busy pattern and this is more of a tone-on-tone pattern. So I thought that would be a nice contrast for that green. Oh, where'd that go? Okay. That went flying off my work surface. And we've got one more piece there. And now if you want, you can go ahead and decorate this with something. You can stamp on it. You can do cutout flowers. You can do whatever you want. I think I'm just going to leave it because it is kind of busy. So I'm going to come here. And then I usually put the 2 white pieces here. And I usually just leave these blank so that if I want to write a personal message, I have some room to write a personal message. That's just my preference. Again, these are your cards. So you can, of course, always do whatever you want to do. If you decide you want to put like a designer series paper there, it would be the same size, the 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I did it again. I have to remember I have glue down in that little spot. And then I'm just going to finish it out by putting this designer series paper right there on each of these sides, left and right, top and bottom. And we are almost done with this. So I hope that you enjoyed this little video. I know it's kind of rough. I did everything in one take. I'm sure there's a few bobbles along the way, but hopefully you'll be kind and you won't mind my bobbling and my rambling. But I just think these cards are so fun. They're actually pretty easy. We did this in probably, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. Honestly, the part that's going to take you the longest is getting everything cut. And now you're back to the front. So there we have it, our never-ending card. Very easy to do. And now you see, we put that paper there. Now that kind of peeks through on this side. Another fold, and you're back to the front. So I hope you enjoyed this. Happy stamping, everyone. Stay well. I can't wait till this virus is abating and we can all get together and stamp together. I miss all my Stampin' friends. Bye.